Also, very warm welcome from my side here. Nils Janssen, thank you for the kind introduction. I'm heading the global account management in Siemens for our minerals clients. And I brought, as already presented, the topic to you, de-risk and accelerate mine commissioning with prefabricated e-house solutions. So long title already. Spoilers a little bit the content, but I want to explain to you why I've selected this topic for this presentation. So, when we look into, or we are here in this 2 to 3 days to look into untapping the natural resources other than oil and gas in this region. And with that, we look into the mineral sector, which we need for our energy transition. Siemens itself, as producer, as electrical manufacturer, uses a lot of copper, steel, other minerals, right? So we definitely need the source to further bring the energy transition ahead. And when you look into a mine of a future, and I can really thank the previous plenary here, talking about digitalization, this is one of the key trends, digitalization, to make the mine of the future future-proof. Second big topic will be the electrification, that fits perfectly to this presentation. So we have also learned in the previous plenary that digitalization is all about think about why should you move material and minimize it to an extent that it's useful to make your process happen. But in the end of the day, you will need to move material. And to move material, for example, in a conveyor belt or in a mine binder, or later and to process it, for example, in a mill or in a crusher, you'll need actuators, motors, big electric motors, which need to be powered by more sensitive equipment. So we are looking here into mines, especially into these regions which will be set up at high ambient temperatures, dusty environment, maybe even high humidities. And to control a motor, you need motor control cubicles, you need PLCs, you need the switch gears and medium voltage VFDs. And these equipments need to be protected from the net environment. How is that done in a classical way? We talk about a substation, so more buildings, concrete buildings, which are built up. And then after those are completed and constructed, the electrical equipment, VFDs and so on, what I've just mentioned, are put in, are wired, are tested, commissioned, and then put into operation, all in the hectic environment of a new construction site of a mine. Yeah? And this gives us already here a couple of headaches or risks at least. First risk or headache is how do you organize all these components which you have to install bit by bit and piece by piece in your substation. So you have to have the organization, the logistics. Secondly, you have to have the specialist on the site at the right time, at the right place. One point, organization. Second point is how do you assure that during your construction, during your installation, the ambient conditions are kept under control. Now I'm bringing in equipment in a substation, doors are open, dust can enter, and so on. So you might have an impact on the lifetime already of the equipment during the installation. And the idea here is to overcome this particular headaches is a prefabricated e-house. What is it? You see here the pictures. I hope I'm not in the middle here of the picture for the audience. It's a steel enclosure, a structure, a container, which I can build in a controlled environment, a factory, and where all the electrical equipment is installed inside of this factory. This whole unit is then be able to be shipped to the mine site. Exactly. And with that, you can decouple basically the construction of the mine from the electrical equipment. Now you have one single lift or one single ship of your electrical equipment, and you have a plug-and-play solution at site where you just connect the wires, the sensors to your controls, to the e-house, and can set this whole beauty into operation. Exactly. So the whole idea here is, with that, you can decouple, like I said already, the construction, which means you have a positive impact because of parallel construction and operations of your whole mine. And with that, you can also assure that you have the right specialist at the right time, as in the factory where the e-house is produced, right? And with that, you can save time. You can also save CapEx costs, because now the specialists do not have to travel on site. A lot of installation, wiring, and even pre-commissioning can be done in the factory itself. And last but not least, in the factory, you have a controlled environment and you eliminate the risk of any issues with ambient conditions as far as possible. So how does a typical timeline of such a construction look like of an e-house? And how would the ideal partner for such a construction look like? We see here typically you have, I forgot, sales, then we have the engineering and so on. I think that these are the typical steps which you have, and you want most of these steps being localized. Why? You want to have your contact partner close to you, close to the mine site, who can educate, who can service, who can consult, who can engineer that. And if there are special objectives to achieve, a first of its kind, special engineering required, then you want to have a partner which can bring in the local, global expertise locally, who can transfer the knowledge from the global expertise, from the reference in a global manner to your local mine site, makes the team, the local team, ready to execute, and then for the next projects ready to do it by themselves. No, one back. Here again, I want to emphasize the localization. So especially here, to mention Siemens also, there are local partners for the e-house construction, which can, with our components, build that up, all under local engineering, project management, execution, and also major components like, for example, switchgears, where a manufacturing facility in Jeddah is existing with more than now 10,000 medium voltage panels are installed, can be delivered here directly from our construction site to the e-house supplier to finalize that. I'm not sure about the time, but this is my presentation. If you have any further questions to that, want to deepen the discussions, we have a complete team here. You find us in the gold sponsorship area. We are happy to answer your questions there, and thank you very much for your attention.